I just watched John's It's Over the End video about retiring the old car, pulling out the parts, putting it in the new car. And I have to admit, I was surprised at the emotional reaction he had to his car. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have been. I think there's a lot of clues about how he struggled to make the decision to move forward, and once it came down to, like, you had to commit or not, pull stuff out of the old car, it won't work anymore. It was tough for him. This last week or two has been really tough for him. And I didn't really think much about it. So I'm glad that he did that video, because it helps me understand my husband a heck of a lot more. When he said it feels like his dog died, that car to him is part of our family. To me, it's just a car, to be honest. Just like any other car. I'm always a little sad when we get rid of our cars, because of the experiences we had in them, or like selling a house. To me, it's an object. But I can totally see how to him it is more than that. A lot more than that. And that, again, I didn't really get that. When he came home the day he filmed that, and he was telling us about it, I was trying to be kind of funny, and I was like, yes, I outlasted the car. And the look on his face was almost like terrified. He just got this look, and I can't even remember the words he used. What I heard in my head was, oh, no, you didn't. Those are not the words he used. But it was like something to the effect of, that car's not done. We're not done with that car. Like, he fully intends to race that car again, I believe, sometime. But me kind of making that pronouncement, like I outlasted the car, was like, it was hilarious. So yeah, in my head, I was almost insulted for a minute, because I was like, what do you mean? I didn't outlast the car. The car could still outlast me. But that I didn't actually take it that way. But it was just, the emotion on his face was very, very telling during that moment. So, but I'll look at cars differently now. Every time he races, I do pray. I pray for his safety. I pray that if he crashes, he'll come through it. Never, but I'm, praying to God. Never thought about asking the car for that. But it makes total sense. And I think I'll probably look at the new car a little differently after hearing him talk about how he feels about the car. I'll probably look at the new car as more part of the family, as more the thing that's keeping him safe, in that more, I guess, existential way than object kind of way. I don't know if that makes any sense. I feel like this could shed some light on why some couples struggle and have friction around one of the partners racing. Because to the non-racer, this is a hobby, that's an object, right? I crochet, the yarn and the needle are my object. I don't think of them as part of my family. I depend on them, but it's not the same. I don't have that emotional connection. But also, my life doesn't depend on my yarn and my crochet hook, right? So I think for a non-racer, it's hard to understand that emotional side of the hobby. And if you're a man, I know there's women racers out there, but I think that men traditionally, okay, I'm stereotyping, but men traditionally struggle a little bit to express those kinds of feelings. Like I said, I didn't know he felt that way. I'm not sure he really, truly would have been able to quantify his feelings around the car until that moment. So, it definitely could be a cause for some of the friction where the spouse is like, well, why are you spending so much time with your car? You're spending more time with your car than me. There have been times in our lives where I felt like the car was a little bit of another woman, taking his time and attention away. It's been a while since I felt that way, though. I think we've worked out, even before this, we've worked out how to work through that together to make sure that, that those kinds of feelings don't come up anymore. But now I'm even more clear on why he does what he does. For example, there was one year, he says he doesn't remember this, but I remember this. We drove back from my parents' house for Christmas. We drove back 12 hours. We got home and he brought in the suitcases and left for the shop and spent 3 or 4 hours working on the car. And I was not happy. I will never tell him he can't do that if he wants to, because again, I feel like that was part of the agreement that I agreed to when we got married. There was a reason for him to stay home. I mean, what were we going to do? We were just going to sit around and rest after a 12-hour drive. If he wanted to go work on his car, there was no real reason why he couldn't. But I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. Today, I get that moment from all those years ago when he got home after a 12-hour drive and he went to work on that car, because I bet in his head he was working on that car that entire 12-hour drive and just couldn't wait to go get his hands on it. And I did not understand that at the time. I understand that now. So I guess the lesson here of my reaction is that if you are having those kinds of conflicts with your significant other around the car and the time you spend with the car and why you spend that time with the car, maybe, depending on who they are and how they'll receive it, maybe you need to express some of those emotions around your car and how you trust your life to this car, and it is more than just a car to you. It's a relationship, really, that you're having with that car. Be careful how you say that, because that could backfire. But, it's part of the steps toward working with your spouse and communicating your needs and your feelings and understanding, so that you don't have those fights, or those jealousies or those conflicts around your hobby, is that they understand how you feel. So I think that is the lesson. But we'll see. So I feel like that car we've not seen the last of that car for sure. It is still part of the family, but we'll see what happens to it in the future. So hang in there, you guys. Racing is almost ready to start, at least for us here in North Carolina. Can't wait to get back to the track. And we'll see you again soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe to The Drag Racer's Wife. Bye-bye.